this hour in Limpopo, where persistent rains continue lashing through the community of Giyani, causing widespread damage. At Mbaula village, emergency officials had to rope in helicopters to rescue flood victims and deliver them to higher grounds. Let's speak more about this with SABC News reporter Katlego Nyoni, who joins us now live. And Katlego, the president was in the province yesterday. Take us through part of what he promised as a response as residents there tried to keep afloat.
Hi there, Ayanda. Yes, President Cyril Ramaphosa visited large parts of areas that have been battered by this ongoing rainfall, these heavy downpours, both in the Vembe region of Limpopo as well as where we are reporting from in the Mopani district. The president there visiting one of the areas that are considered to be the worst affected, hardest hit. President Ramaphosa there engaging with the provincial leadership, Dr. Poppy Ramathuba, as well as several other leaders, indicating to us that 36 homes were flattened and destroyed by these ongoing floods. Of course, expressing sadness at the fact that a 5-year-old boy, Siyanda Baloyi, was swept away by strong currents at the local Mbaula river there, urging that there will be swift intervention by the government and that those whose homes have been damaged will then be rescued, mentioning that some may have moved to their relatives' homes, but government will ensure that they are not left stranded and are desperate for assistance. Of course, this is in the interim as these ongoing challenges persist throughout this region. The government there promising that there will be a swift reaction. We know that today as well, the Premier of Limpopo, Dr. Poppy Ramathuba, will address the members of the media to provide an update regarding their plans to assist on the ground. We've seen ourselves, emergency workers on the ground, Ayanda, trying to assist and help those that have been stranded. We just came back from the community of Maswanganye, where emergency rescue workers had to be called in. This after a family of 6 were trapped inside their house there, and fortunately, there was no loss of life in that particular incident, but we certainly did see those emergency workers interacting and trying to find out and establish the nature of, the type of disaster that befell that family. The woman that we spoke to, Ms. Emily Tlungwane, indicating to me that water levels rose so high to a point that it damaged everything in the house, including their basic amenities as well as food items, saying that they really need assistance. Where we currently are, and you can see some motorists are stuck, they are stranded. The fear of crossing this body of water appears to be quite risky for the local community. Earlier on, we spoke to some people who came from a village known as Nkomo, indicating that they are quite scared. They have never seen water levels rise this high within their vicinity. But I'm going to speak to Sandral, and I'm going to get basically how the situation, Ayanda, is affecting the road conditions. We know that a majority of bridges were also washed away. I'm going to bring in Mr. Giyani just to find out from Sandral how the extent of the damage across the roads. Mr. Dlada, thank you very much for your time on the SABC News channel. Roads, bridges, devastation, destruction. We see here where we are, the road linking Giyani as well as Palabora. What is the extent of the damage on the road infrastructure?
Thank you very much, SABC presenter, and to the listeners. It's very devastating and the impact is very large. The first point I would like to emphasize to the road users and the community not to cross any low-lying bridges and with walking by feet and also by vehicle. I'm the representative from Sandral under Rome H, but I'm a resident engineer assigned to look up for this road. My project manager is on the way right now, Tau Mahlakwane, to assess the situation, but I come first before him. So the road is very bad. Yeah, it's not only this section On this entire road, it's about 47 kilometers. We've got about, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 places where the road is washed away. So it's very, very devastating with this weather persisting. And looking at the weather services as well, we're still anticipating more rain up until Tuesday. So we're just trying our best with the emergency to make sure that the road is safe for the road users, which is the slogan for Sanral. That's what we're keeping at. So that's why we're here on time, first time before the rain comes, the engineers on board and the contractor.
Is there anything that could be done while the rain is still, falling? Is there anything that could be done, maybe in a form of engineering, or to try and maybe create a safer crossing path for vehicles as well as people walking on feet? Or must we rather wait for the rain to subside?
Thank you very much. I also acknowledge your point, but I still come back to the point that people must wait for the rain to subside. Sanral has made alternative routes, which that's why we're here. That's why I was with the MMC yesterday and the speaker for Greater Giyani in Mopane district to go and get all these alternative routes, and people will use alternative routes. And also, some of the alternative routes, they are damaged, because this is a rain that is anticipated, more rain than we anticipated. So some of them, they are working, some of them are not working. So we are just pleaded, no, don't go out until the rain goes down.
Just for the sake of our viewers who might need information, where are some of these alternative routes and how would you rate their level of safety?
The alternative route is through the main point of the villages, where they get their own the access which was granted by the municipality. So it's alternative which were proclaimed by the municipality, which they are valid. They can use them, which they are on the government gazette for the municipality. So they are legal, if I may put it like that. Yes, in a lame term, they are legal. So that's why Sanral has incorporated those alternative routes in their plan, which we did it ourselves and went through all those and incorporated them. So if there's any disaster like this, we speak to the municipality. Guys, there's a list that we plan, or there's a plan that we showed us that there's the alternative routes. Please use them for now. Guys must not use the main road for their safety.
Mr. Tlata, thank you very much for your time. I would just ask you to maybe move away from camera so that we can continue to show our viewers some of these scenes that are developing on this road that connects the town of Giyani as well as Palabora. You can see over there, Ayanda motorists are trapped, worried that should they cross, would it cause damage to their vehicles and eventually maybe lead to something more serious like a loss of life. And that's what Mr. Tlata was cautioning there, that they are advising communities not to walk nor drive on a low-lying bridge. As you can see, it's quite flooded here. It rained overnight in the town of Giyani. He's also mentioning that for a stretch of about 47 kilometers, it is still the same. There are large concentrations of water that is preventing easy movement of locals. We'll certainly be on the ground monitoring these developments. However, there is promise from the government, with President Cyril Ramaphosa having arrived in the affected areas yesterday, mentioning that they are planning on making a swift response in order to ensure that those that have been directly affected and may be left perhaps maybe are homeless at this particular stage because their homes are damaged will certainly be rescued. And of course, the Premier of Limpopo will be briefing the media on providing an update on rescue efforts. Just another correction on our earlier reportage: the boy that was swept away by the Mbaula River yesterday is not 4 years old, he is 5 years old. That was confirmed by his family, and the police are saying that they have opened an inquiry, meaning the person is considered missing. They are not going to open an inquest, saying that he's not been found, and at this stage he cannot be declared dead or alive. However, search and rescue efforts for that boy will be underway today. Earlier on, I was talking to the gift of the givers who are mentioning that they are going to monitor the weather conditions, whether or not the rainy weather will persist, so they can then dispatch a chopper to conduct a search and rescue effort around the area of Mbaula village. Ayanda?
Right, Katlego, Nyoni doing a sterling job keeping us abreast with this unprecedented moment as it unfolds. Live to us there from Giyani in Limpopo. For now, Katlego, thanks very much indeed.